So today we are going to work on heights and distances. So it's a part of mathematics where you learn about trigonometry. So I hope you are having some understanding on the trigonometry, how the triangle is being defined as the hypotenuse, base, height. I hope you are aware of it. If not, I will go through that. So here we are going to learn about how to measure the different heights of objects from somewhere on the ground level or sea level that we call. Okay, how can you measure a moving object on the sky? Suppose and there's a kite flying or an aeroplane moving. How are you going to distance from the person in the on the sea level to that object? So that's the basic thought process of heights and distances that we learn about. So today we are going to just go over there. So before that, I just want to introduce about the triangles and the trigonometry, some of the basic concepts maybe, so that you can just brush your previous knowledge on the trigonometry ideas. So let me just quickly share my screen and take you through that. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Basically, what we know about triangles is a closed object. What do we mean by closed object? That means all the sides are closed. There is no free ends. So suppose I draw something like this. This is called a open object. So you don't have all the sides closed. So triangle is a closed object with three sides. So let me just name it A, B and C. So the horizontal line, we generally call it as base. The perpendicular line, this is the height of the triangle, and this one is called the hypotenuse. Okay, so this one is the hypotenuse, this is the height, and this is the base. And we have a trigonometry formula which is a very famous formula, that is base square plus height square equals to hypotenuse square. Are you aware which formula it is? Alia or Viet, can you remember which formula is this? This is a very famous formula in mathematics. Are you aware of it?
Yes, but I can't remember the name of the formula.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah,
Pythagoras theorem.
same.
So all the trigonometry ideas, identities, whatever formulas we have, whatever theorems you learn, everything is basically coming out of the Pythagoras theorem. This is the basis of all the trigonometric metrics that we learn. So this heights and distances, this entire chapter is basically dependent upon this Pythagoras theorem. And then we have formulas. If you are aware of the trigonometric identities, then are you aware of these? Sine, cos, tan. Are you aware of these formulas? Sine theta, cos
Yes.
theta, tan theta. Have you learned it?
Yeah.
Oh, can you tell me the how do we measure it from a Pythagoras theorem, or how do we measure it if we have a triangle? Say I have a triangle and I have a height which I call it as h, this one I call it as b, and this one suppose I call it as hypotenuse, maybe hy, or this one I call it as h maybe for easier purpose, and this one I call it as p, perpendicular. Yeah. So can you tell me, if I have these three measurements with me, how do I measure the tan theta value? Okay, let me just brush your thoughts. So this is height, that is the perpendicular by base. So perpendicular by base, you will get a ratio, right? Say suppose I get 1 by 2. So for this, we have a particular angle which comes for half. So all the tan thetas we can measure by the ratio of perpendicular by base. Similarly, for tan also we have height by hypotenuse. For sine theta, we can measure it by height by hypotenuse. And for cos theta, can you remember for cos theta what it will be? Anyone, Viet or Alia? Are you aware? Or can you just understand through this what it could be? Okay, just let me tell that. So this would be hypotenuse by base. So if you are aware, tan theta is equal to sine theta by cos theta. Okay, so this is the another formula that we have, which is very famous formula in trigonometry. So we have three things we need to remember while doing heights and distances is how do we measure the tan, cos and sine, then how do we measure the tan theta if the cos degree and the sine degree is given, and the Pythagoras theorem, that is the base square plus height square is equal to the hypotenuse square. So these are the very basic rules which we need to remember, or I should say these are the prerequisites of this chapter. So we just need to know this understanding we need to have. What do we actually mean by sine, cos and tan, and how do we measure the Pythagoras theorem? Okay. Do you have any questions? Let me just quickly unshare my screen and let me know if you have any questions. Viet or Alaya, if you are having any questions, please you are free to ask.
No, thank you. Your explanation is perfect.
Okay.
Everything is clear. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Let me move on quickly to some sums, maybe very basic ones, which can help you to understand this chapter. Okay. So say I have, it says that, let me read out the question. A kite flying attached to a thread which is 165-meter long. So let me draw the kite maybe here. So I have a kite which it's telling that there is a thread which is 165-meter long. So definitely somebody is flying it from the ground level or sea level, whatever we call that. So say I have somebody at ground level. So this we call it as eye, okay? Sight. And this is the ground. So let me give you two more different things. This angle which gets created if some object is flying, okay, or some object is above the sea level and we are seeing it from a level which is below. This is called the angle of elevation. So elevate means that we are seeing something which is above us. So similarly, just have that idea in your mind, and we are seeing something from ground level or some level which is below the object. Okay, then we always see up, right? So it is an angle of elevation. Similarly, if we are standing on top of maybe a tower or a building and we are trying to see an object below, so something is bottom in the below. So this angle which gets created is called the angle of depression. Okay. So again I will just repeat myself. So this is called a sight. That means the observer who is actually seeing the object. From that particular viewpoint, we need to understand whether we are seeing the object above or we are seeing the object down. Okay. If we are seeing the object above, it is called the angle of elevation. If we are seeing the object which is below us or below the observer, then it's the angle of depression. Okay. Am I clear? Any question regards that?
No questions.
Okay. So let me come back to my question. So I have a kite flowing. So definitely somebody is flying it from the bottom or the ground level, whatever we call sea level, ground level. So I have a kite flowing, and the thread, it is being said that it is 165 centimeters. So this is 165 centimeter. Okay. Now it is being said that the thread makes an angle of 30 degrees. So this angle of elevation is 30 degrees. So my question is to find what is this height of the kite from the ground. So from here, what do we know? We know that the hypotenuse is given, h is given. I have something called P and I have something called B base. Okay. So I have already told in my previous explanation that sine is equal to height, that is perpendicular by hypotenuse. So I have the angle, I have sine theta, that is sine 30 degree. I have the perpendicular measurement, that is 165, and I have the I need to find the perpendicular. I have the height, that is 165. I need to find the perpendicular. So sine 30, if you remember the numbers, then sine 30 is equal to half. Okay, you need to remember those values for this particular chapter. So sine 30 is half, and we have perpendicular, and we have 165. Do we know how to calculate this? This is a very simple sum. So can you tell me, can you just quickly do the calculation and tell me what would be the measurement for the perpendicular? Is this correct what I did, Viet or Alia?
Um,
The calculation, how I
uh,
perform this, is this correct?
we need to divide it by
We
two.
need to divide it, right?
Yes.
So it's a cross
Yeah.
calculation, right? So it should be like this. So if it goes, then my perpendicular would be P equals to 165 divided by 2. Correct? Now is it correct or this one was
Yeah.
correct? Just trying to confuse you a little bit. Is this calculation correct or this one is correct?
Uh,
The
yes.
one on the
We
bottom,
must divide.
The second one, right? So can you tell me, can you quickly divide it and tell me what would be the answer?
82 and a half.
That's
82
all.
and a half. Yeah. So, any question regards this particular sum? Can you explain me this? What I explained you. So, I have a kite here at A, and this is the person who is at position B, and the angle of elevation is 30. The distance of the thread is 165. I need to find the perpendicular distance of the kite from the ground. So, Ale or Viet, anybody, can you explain me what I just did in this sum?
Explain how we did it, right?
Yeah, yes, correct.
Yeah. If you want to find P, we must sign. Yeah. We must use form sine equal P divided H. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. And so sine of 30 degree equal 1/2. So so then we just must to solve this.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
correct. The way you have explained is exactly correct. So we need to go with the
Oh,
sine
thank
value
you.
and we need to find the perpendicular distance. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I would unshare my screen. So this was the very starting of the heights and distances, and there are more to it, and we can continue in our next classes. If you want anything else, you can let me know.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you, Ali and Ved.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you very much.